Did you know that the first year of riding is the most dangerous for motorcyclists? Not because bikes suddenly become riskier, but because beginners are unknowingly stacking mistake after mistake, little habits that turn into big problems. And here's the kicker: most new riders don't even realize they're doing it. They're so focused on clutch, throttle, balance, mirrors, traffic, that they miss the subtle errors that put them in the hospital. But that's why you're here. Today, we're breaking down 11 beginner rider mistakes that you need to stop immediately. These aren't the obvious ones like don't ride drunk. These are the sneaky habits, the overlooked details, and the traps every rookie falls into at some point. Some of them are common sense that you've probably ignored. Some of them might surprise you. And 3 of them, they're mistakes no one's talking about anywhere else. So stick around, because fixing these will not only make you a smoother rider, it could literally save your life. And hey, before we dive in, hit that subscribe button. If you ride, and you're even just thinking about riding, this channel's here to keep you safe, confident, and always learning. Mistake number 1. Ignoring maintenance basics. Here's a harsh truth a lot of new riders don't hear. Your motorcycle doesn't forgive neglect. Too many beginners think maintenance means just changing oil once in a while, but that's barely scratching the surface. Your tires, they lose pressure faster than you think, and running them even a few PSI low can wreck your handling. Your chain, it's not self-cleaning or self-lubricating. Ignore it long enough and you're looking at poor throttle response, uneven wear, and maybe even a snapped chain, which can lock up your rear wheel at speed. Not fun. And don't get me started on brakes. If you're not checking your pads, fluid, and lever feel regularly, you're literally gambling with your stopping power. The thing is, these checks don't take hours. 5 minutes before a ride, quick glance at your tires, chain, and controls is often enough to catch issues early. A new rider who gets into this habit will always be safer than the one who thinks their bike just runs forever. Riding's about freedom, yeah, but freedom only lasts if your machine is healthy. Treat your bike right, and it'll treat you right back. Mistake number 2. Overloading your bike with gadgets and gear. New riders love toys. Phone mounts, giant saddlebags, flashy lights, cup holders, you name it, someone's bolted it onto their first bike. And hey, accessories aren't bad on their own. The problem is when you load your machine up like it's a pack mule. See, every motorcycle is designed with balance in mind. Add too much weight in the wrong place, and suddenly your steering feels sluggish, your suspension bottoms out on bumps, and your braking distance stretches way longer than it should. That cheap Amazon top box doesn't feel so cheap when it wobbles at 70 miles per hour. Same goes for strapping down luggage like you're crossing continents when you're really just commuting across town. Extra bags catch wind, throw off stability, and distract you at the worst possible time. The fix? Keep it simple. Stick with quality gear racks or bags made for your bike, and pack only what you actually need. Think essentials, not everything in the garage. A clean, balanced bike not only handles better, it also makes you look like you know what you're doing. And trust me, nothing screams rookie louder than riding a 2-wheeled Christmas tree of gadgets. Mistake number 3. Skipping emergency maneuver practice. Here's something most beginners never think about. You can ride for months in a straight line and feel experienced, but when the moment comes to swerve or brake hard, your body freezes. Why? Because you never trained it. When a car pulls out in front of you, you don't get time to think. Your hands and feet react automatically, but only if you practiced. Otherwise, you're just another rider who locks up the brakes, stares at the bumper, and slides straight into it. The fix is simple, and it doesn't cost a dime. Practice in a parking lot. Quick stops, controlled swerves, evasive maneuvers. Start slow, then build up. It's muscle memory, and once you have it, your survival odds skyrocket. Think of it this way. You wouldn't carry a fire extinguisher without knowing how to use it, right? Riding's no different. Skills you don't practice won't show up when you need them most. So, don't just ride, train. Because when traffic gets unpredictable, and it will, those drills could be the reason you ride home instead of getting hauled home. Mistake number 4. The death grip on the handlebars. It's easy to spot a nervous beginner. White knuckles clamp down on the grips like they're hanging off a cliff. And honestly, it feels natural at first. Your heart's racing, every bump feels like an ambush, and you think holding on tighter equals more control. But here's the truth. The tighter you grip, the less control you actually have. Locking your arms makes your steering twitchy, kills your finesse, and tires you out faster than a CrossFit workout. After just 10 minutes, your wrists ache, your shoulders burn, and you're riding like the bike's your enemy instead of your partner. The solution? Loosen up. Your core, your legs, and your posture should be doing most of the stabilizing. Your hands? They're just for guidance. Subtle inputs, not brute force. A good trick is to imagine you're holding a small bird, firm enough so it doesn't fly away, gentle enough so you don't crush it. When you relax, the bike flows naturally, soaking up bumps and holding lines without you wrestling it. Riding becomes less of a fight and more of a conversation. Trust the machine. It's built to stay upright. Quick pause. If this is hitting home and you're realizing, yep, I've done at least one of these, don't worry. Every rider starts somewhere. What matters is you're learning and improving. And if you want more tips like this, do me a favor. Hit that like button and subscribe. It helps the channel grow, and it keeps you plugged into a community of riders who are still trying to get better, safer, and smarter. Now, back to the next mistake. Mistake number 5. Riding without proper gear. Ask any experienced rider what their biggest regret was early on, and 9 times out of 10, it's skimping on gear. New riders often think, I'm just riding around town, I don't need a full setup. Or worse, they grab some knockoff motorcycle jeans online and call it good. Here's the problem. Pavement doesn't care if you're riding 5 miles or 50. A simple low-speed slide can shred through denim like it's tissue paper. Road rash is not just a scrape, it's skin grafts, infections, and scars that never go away. And it's not just about crashes. Good gloves protect you from wind fatigue. Proper boots stabilize your ankles. A solid jacket helps prevent hypothermia if the weather shifts. Gear is comfort and safety rolled into one. The numbers back it up too. Helmets reduce the risk of head injury by nearly 70%, and full protective gear drastically lowers your odds of severe injury. So, don't cut corners. Today, protective gear comes in all styles, from retro leather to casual textile that looks like streetwear. No excuses. Look good, ride safe, keep your skin where it belongs. Mistake number 6. Looking down instead of ahead. Every beginner does this. You're juggling clutch, throttle, traffic, signs, potholes. Your brain's overloaded, so your eyes drop to the nearest thing, your gauges, your hands, maybe even the pavement just in front of your tire. The problem is, bikes go where you look. If your eyes are locked 10 feet ahead, your ride is going to be 10 feet of jerky corrections. Corners feel awkward, your lines are sloppy, and everything feels harder than it should. Instead, train yourself to lift your chin and scan far ahead. On straights, look toward the horizon. In corners, look through the curve, not at the middle of it. Let your peripheral vision handle the close-up details, the lane lines, the dash, the front wheel. This feels weird at first, but the payoff is huge. Your posture smooths out, your balance improves, and suddenly the bike starts flowing instead of fighting. Here's a good drill. Find an empty parking lot, set up a few cones, and practice weaving. But keep your eyes on the exit, not the cones themselves. You'll be amazed how much easier riding gets when your vision leads the way. Mistake number 7. Target fixation. Here's a sneaky one that's responsible for a ton of beginner crashes. Target fixation. That's when your brain locks onto the very thing you're trying to avoid, a pothole, a curb, or the car edging into your lane, and instead of steering away, you steer straight into it. It happens because your motorcycle follows your eyes. Look at the obstacle, and your hands unconsciously guide the bike right at it. In high-stress moments, like coming into a corner too hot, the effect gets even worse. Beginners stare at the guardrail or the tree instead of the exit, and boom, they hit exactly what they feared. The fix? Train yourself to always look where you want to go, not where you don't. See a pothole? Shift your focus to the clear patch of road beside it. In a tight corner, lock your eyes on the exit. Your bike will naturally follow. This takes practice, especially under pressure, but once it clicks, you'll feel a huge difference in your control and confidence. Think of it as teaching your brain a new language. Stop staring at problems, start focusing on solutions. If you've ever caught yourself staring straight at the thing you're trying to avoid, you're not alone. Every rider's been there. Let me know in the comments what your target fixation moment was, because I guarantee someone else has done the same thing. And while you're down there, don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps push this video to more riders like us. Mistake number 8. Riding in the wrong gear. Shifting gears is one of the first skills you learn, but it's also one of the easiest to mess up as a beginner. A lot of new riders either baby the throttle and ride around in too high a gear, or they hold on to a low gear way too long, screaming the engine like they're trying to summon demons. Both habits kill your smoothness. Lugging the engine in high gear makes your bike sluggish, harder to control, and more likely to stall in tricky situations like stop-and-go traffic. On the flip side, revving way too high in low gear wastes fuel, wears out parts faster, and leaves you jumpy and twitchy instead of fluid. The trick is to start listening to your engine instead of staring at the tach. Bikes will tell you when they're unhappy. A lugging engine feels rough and unresponsive, while an over-revving one feels buzzy and frantic. The sweet spot is where the bike pulls cleanly and smoothly. Practice shifting by feel, not just by numbers. The more you ride, the more natural it becomes. Smooth gear changes don't just protect your bike, they make you look and feel like you actually know what you're doing out there. Mistake number 9. Braking the wrong way. Brakes are your lifeline, but a lot of beginners use them like an on-off switch. Either they grab the front brake in a panic and risk a skid, or they rely on the rear brake and wonder why stopping distances feel like a mile long. Here's the deal. Your front brake provides the majority of your stopping power, about 70% more. But it has to be applied smoothly and progressively, not yanked like a slot machine lever. The rear brake, meanwhile, adds stability and balance, especially at low speeds, but it's not strong enough on its own for serious stopping. Another mistake? Not practicing emergency braking. When a car cuts you off, it's not the time to experiment with how hard you can squeeze the lever before locking up. You need that muscle memory dialed in already. The fix is simple but essential. Practice. Find an empty lot, build up speed, and work on smooth, firm stops using both brakes together. Learn how your bike feels as the weight shifts forward. That way, when the unexpected happens, you'll react calmly and correctly instead of freezing or grabbing a handful of panic. Mistake number 10. Forgetting to countersteer. Here's something every rider hears about, but not every beginner fully understands. Countersteering. At low speeds, turning the bars in the direction you want to go works fine. But once you're rolling above 15 to 20 miles per hour, physics take over. And suddenly the way to turn left is gently pushing on the left handlebar, not pulling it. Sounds backward, right? That's why so many new riders hesitate in corners. They try to muscle the bike around with body lean alone, or they yank the bars in the normal direction and end up fighting the bike instead of flowing with it. Countersteering is subtle, but it's powerful. A light push on the bar sets the bike leaning, and the lean is what makes the bike carve through the turn. Once you get it, corners stop feeling like work and start feeling like art. If you've ever found yourself drifting wide in a curve or panicking mid-turn, chances are you weren't countersteering effectively. The good news? It's an easy skill to practice. Start small in a safe area, weave back and forth, and get used to how little effort it takes. Master it early, and you'll ride with way more confidence. Mistake number 11. Bad cornering habits. Corners are where motorcycles shine, and where beginners often get it wrong. One of the most common rookie errors is charging into a turn too hot. You spot the curve late, panic, chop the throttle, or worse, grab the brakes mid-lean. The result? A shaky line at best, and a low side crash at worst. Another cornering mistake is stiffening up and looking down instead of through the turn. When your eyes lock on the road right in front of you, your whole body tightens. The bike feels unstable and you drift wide, which only makes the panic worse. The fix? Set your speed before the corner, not during. Smoothly roll off the throttle, apply your brakes in a straight line, then release as you tip in. Look where you want to go. Eyes through the exit, and let the bike lean naturally. A little throttle mid-turn helps stabilize the bike, while a relaxed body lets it do the work it was built to do. Once you nail this rhythm, slow in, smooth through, eyes up, corners stop being scary. They become the best part of the ride. And there you have it. 11 beginner mistakes that can make riding way harder and way riskier than it needs to be. The good news? Every single one of these can be fixed with awareness and a little practice. If this video helped you, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next video. And drop a comment. Which of these mistakes have you caught yourself making? Your story might save another rider from learning the hard way. Ride safe, ride smart, and I'll see you in the next one.